to ask the Scottish Government what its position is on whether the reported ongoing political instability within the UK Government impacts on the timing of its plans to ask the constitutional question of whether Scotland should be an independent country.
Cabinet Secretary Angus Robertson.
UK Government policies are making major economic challenges such as inflation, inequality and the cost of living crisis worse. Instability and uncertainty are increasing as financial markets express a lack of confidence in the UK Government's economic management and competence. Scotland has an abundance of skilled people, innovative businesses and natural resources. We have everything it takes to be just as successful as comparable independent European countries. Independence is essential to build a stronger economy, a more just society and a Scotland that works for everyone, for this and future generations. We are fully committed to holding an independence referendum in October next year, pending the decision of the Supreme Court.
Karen Adam, supplementary.
I thank the Cabinet Secretary for that answer. With Liz Truss having become Prime Minister with the backing of just 80,000 voters, and now Rishi Sunak coordinated by a cluster of Tory MPs, the Conservative Party's democratic mandate is becoming more and more diluted. Does the Cabinet Secretary agree with me, then, that the Tories have no leg to stand on when they question the Scottish Government's cast-iron mandate to hold an independence referendum next year?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, I thank Karen Adam for that supplementary. The Scottish Government will certainly not take any lectures from a party that has not won a single national election in Scotland since the 1950s. There was a Scottish Parliament election last year. A record number of members of this chamber were elected on a manifesto commitment that the people should be able to take their view on Scotland's constitutional future as an independent country, just as successful as comparable independent European countries. On Scotland's constitutional future as an independent country, we still live in a democratic state. The people have had their say, the people's decision should be respected, and they should have a vote next autumn on Scotland's independent future. And I would advise those parties that are pursuing this argument of democracy denial is they really should give up on it. We have everything it takes to be just as successful as comparable independent European countries. From last year, when that was the position of the Scottish Conservative Party, the position of the Scottish National Party and the Scottish Green Party was that the people should have their say in a referendum. His party lost the election, and the SNP and the Greens won the election. We form a government in this place. A majority of MSPs wish the people to have a say in a referendum. So long as we live in a democracy, we should act on the wishes of the electorate. It's a shame that some parties in this chamber don't believe that as well as comparable independent European countries. It is not a liberal, nor is it a democratic position to block democratic votes on the constitutional future of a country. I understand that the Liberal Democrats in Scotland would prefer power to be exercised over Scotland's future at Westminster. I understand that. We have a different view on that. The public elects a parliament on a manifesto commitment that there should be a referendum. As Democrats, at least we should agree that a referendum should take place. Then we can have the substantive debate and discussion about the different policy questions. Even at this late stage, appeal to the Liberal Democrats to re-examine their liberalism and their belief in democracy, because at the present time there's not much of it on show. The best path for Scotland's future is to become independent, to rejoin the European Union, to manage our borders appropriately and escape the disastrous Brexit-based economy both Labour and the Tories are intent on inflicting the people of Scotland.